Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to Kristen Draws, where I Kristen Draw, and in this vlog, Kristen, learn how to screen print. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna like take a peek inside my sketchbook while also we digest this undertaking of screen printing for the very first time. Hello, welcome. Enjoy these sketches that you are seeing, and let's dive into screen printing. We're gonna do it. Okay, so I'm actually filming this before doing it. Not the smartest thing. But it'll be interesting to see how my impressions of it change along the way, before, during, after. And that is what this video is more than anything. It is not a how-to or a tutorial or, hey, do this thing. It's more just like a diary entry of real time, like me doing this in like real time and like processing my thoughts and feelings on screen printing and whether it's something that I enjoy or not. So far, at this moment in time, I have decided on my first design, which is based on a sketch that I made in my sketchbook. I've just pulled that in, I've scanned that sketch, pulled it into Photoshop, and tried to break up the image in 4 layers. Yes, one base color that is our lightest tone, one mid-tone, and one darker tone, and then on top of that, a final layer that will be done in drawing fluid. So that part, that final layer that will have like lines and details, will not be done in a reductive way, but rather an additive way, if that makes sense. I don't think it does, because I have not explained what this is all about. So far, what you're about to see me do is add screen filler to the screen. So this kind of reddish brownish clay colored thing that creates the border, that is a substance called screen filler, and I don't know the details of like what is chemically involved in it, but it's basically going to block the color from coming through. So anything that you put, any area of the screen that you put screen filler on, when you drag ink over it, that part will be protected, meaning it will still be the white of the page. The part that you don't fill with, the part that you don't paint screen filler on, that is where your color will be. So you're thinking, I and we are having to think in the opposite way that you think when you're painting and you're adding paint. You're thinking in an additive way, and you're thinking in positive space. Here we're having to plan and think in negative space, and that will be the space that the ink is covering. And then this is bad. This is like the worst explanation of this in the world. Okay, so this is the example that the teacher made. This is just newsprint, and this space where you can see the newsprint coming through, that is the space in which the screen filler, like you would take a brush and you were painting with the screen filler. So you're painting the spots that you want left open, if that makes sense. It's not easy to describe. It's really not easy to describe, but look at that like flat color that you get with the ink. Like, that's pretty cool. And you also get like textures that I feel you can only achieve with the screen print method, hence why people choose to screen print. Okay, let's get into this. I'm not feeling confident in my abilities to talk about this and explain it. Thanks for coming along on this very chaotic ride. Chaos it will be. Okay, so actually we have our first project here that is, well, we have a plan, rather, for our first project here. And a layer breakdown, which I think I might walk you through now. Maybe. Yeah, we've got a layer breakdown, and that is going to help us. That is going to be our quote-unquote image map, which I really like the idea of. I really like the idea of like art making blending with like mapping and like planning. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I also like the fact that like I'm able to introduce that type of approach after a more intuitive approach. Like this drawing, this thing that is going to be, this image that is going to be screen printed, this is based on a sketch that I made in my sketchbook that is much more like expressive and intuitive. And now we're taking that and we're breaking it down into like a more simple 3-color stacked up image. Okay, voiceover Kristen here. I know this vlog is just a lot of me talking, so bear with me, but this is the screen filler that I mentioned. I've just added some blue painter's tape there to get the perfect, straight edge, and that will be the border of our image, and here I am removing it. One of the things to watch out for is needing to raise the screen when you're putting down the filler, otherwise you risk getting that filler all over whatever table you are working on. Okay, so here we go. Now we are going to pull our very first color, which I was so nervous for. Like, truly, the amount of nerves when doing this for the first time is ridiculous. Now that I'm looking back on it after having done multiple other colors, I'm like, okay, Kristen, it's a piece of paper, like, calm down. But that's our first color. That's our yellow. I was pretty hyped, but having a blast with this process. It is a little bit physically taxing, I won't lie. My wrists are sore. Like the pressure, the pressure that you have to put on the screen to get it to fully cover is a little bit much for me. But me and my dainty wrists, like, what can I do? There's the second color. I am super pleased with how that second color turned out. And now we're moving on to the third. Okay, allow me to try to explain the drawing fluid layer. This final layer is an additive one in which you can see that I painted on the screen with that blue. That's the drawing fluid. And then after that is dry, I drag up the screen filler on top of that, let that dry, and then take a sponge to the areas where the drawing fluid was to create the space in the screen to pass the ink through. So this is me pouring the drawing filler in the trough. Unfortunately, I didn't record all of that, and this is the final image. This is the final print. There are things that I would change about it, but I am calling this a win for our first print. Okay, so that's it. That is it for this one. Thanks for coming along on this journey to screen print, and thanks for just putting up with my babbling about it. Yeah, it's super fun. Stay tuned. This is not the last of this. I can confirm that I love this method of making art, and I will be doing things with it. Like, I'm gonna be doing more screen printing and making tests and like testing out ideas that I have, mainly in and around like the zine space, and bringing to life some of my poems and just other like book ideas in the form of zines that are hopefully going to get screen printed. fingers crossed that that it goes well, and that like something can come of it, and this can be kind of like an avenue that I explore, how to say it, like that I explore like taking my art to another space and like a more quote unquote finalized stage. So yeah, thanks for being here. Bye. Bye, 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 bye. That's how they say it in Texas. Bye. Or in the South. Bye, bye.